Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Slammiversary 2018 review. I believe, what is this, the 16th anniversary of Slammiversary, if I'm pretty much right. Pretty much live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in the Rebel Center. A lot of things happen on this card tonight for Sunday. Big pay-per-view feel right here, as they pretty much did a video package, and I know they said this on Twitter that they brought the guy from, the guy that does all the narration for, has done for TNA for multiple years. He came back. I know he did a special video on that, so that was kind of at the beginning of the show. Some people say he sounds like James Earl Jones a lot, but he pretty much kicked off the show doing that. We pretty much kicked it off with a Fatal 4-Way to kick off the show. It was the returning Johnny Impact, which has been gone from Impact for a minute now. I believe he was on Survivor, and he got married to Taya and multiple things, as he went against Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori of the Bullet Club, Phoenix, and, replacement Petey Williams. Rich Swann was supposed to do this match tonight, but unfortunately Rich Swann suffered a concussion last Thursday in New York for an MLW event, so he was not here tonight. Josh Matthews and Don Callis was on commentary. I kind of knew Don Callis was here already because Don Callis hasn't been seen in New Japan for the past few days now during the whole G1 Climax, so I know he had to come do this show tonight. But the Rebel Center, it was a really good crowd out here. People were actually lively. They were chanting things. It was a pretty good, it was a smaller venue, but the crowd was really hot for this show. They were really hot for this show tonight. Surprisingly, there was an Impact Wrestling chant, but was this a chaotic Fatal 4-Way? Yes, it was. There was a Bone Soldier chant at one point. People chanting, holy shit. Phoenix, it's damn a highlight of this match, if you ask me. Phoenix just does things that you just don't expect a lot, okay? He just, I don't know, this guy does a freaking rolling cutter, just looks insane. I will say that. But, as the match itself, as pretty much all four of these guys started doing super kicks damn near on each other, Petey Williams was able to hit a Canadian Destroyer on Phoenix and knock, pretty much then Johnny Impact came and knocked Petey Williams out of the ring, pretty much then hitting a Starship Pain for the win. A really good Fatal 4-Way, crazy spot fest match to kick off the show, get the crowd hot, of course, but Impact getting the win right here is pretty good, especially since it's his first time back. I kind of expect him to win in a way for some reason. Like I said, Phoenix is just freaking raw. Was just raw in this match, as he is in every match. Like somebody kind of said to me before, though. I was reading something, I think it's on Twitter, or somebody read something about it, that, I don't know, Phoenix, like, the guy should be pushed more, but it's like his brother always gets the bigger push all the time. Pentagon Jr., that's why he's the Lucha Underground champion right now. Like, people forget that both these guys are brothers at the time, but Phoenix is just very great and just flies all over the place. I will say about the show, I'm surprised they did gold ropes tonight, and the camera looked like it was going overhead at one point throughout the match itself. But really great atmosphere, great Fatal 4-Way to kick off the show, very enjoyable. We pretty much went next to Tessa Blanchard versus Allie. Allie got a pretty much big pop on there since it was her hometown. Really good match. Crowd was, they're into it. It was still entertaining. It was a little slow at first, but it kind of got on, and people were with it. Tessa Blanchard pretty much hit Allie with the Hammerlock DDT for the win. Pretty much, I would say a big win for her, because she hasn't really gotten a lot of wins lately. She's been losing more than she's been winning, so I know she has a long-term deal, so hopefully they're going to do something with her since she defeated Allie right here tonight. Tonight on Slammiversary. So we'll see what happens next with Tessa. Maybe she's in line for a title shot next. They pretty much went to Alicia Atout. I can't say her last name right, but she was interviewing Moose in the back, as he said he was going to become the Impact World Champion tonight. Next was Eddie Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer in a House of Hardcore Rules match. There were like 3 hardcore matches tonight, and this was the first one of them tonight. Eddie Edwards has some new music coming out. Tommy Dreamer came out then, as both guys were pretty much hitting each other with cookie sheets at one point. Eddie Edwards then pulled out a staple gun as people chanted "You sick fuck" at him. but Dreamer was able to block him and stop him. Edwards tried to do a sunset flip, but Eddie Edwards pretty much got stapled in the head himself by Tommy Dreamer, which there was blood coming out of his forehead. They went to the outside of the ring. There was a big ECW chant. Dreamer had an ECW title from the crowd, and then pretty much kissed the belt and knocked Eddie Edwards down with it. Then Dreamer pretty much had a kendo stick at one point, and started hitting him several times. And there was some chairs set up in the ring as Edwards was going to pretty much take him out as he had a kendo stick then, but Dreamer pretty much did a, what was that, Death Valley driver on him, or Spicoli driver on him, through all those chairs then. And pretty much not Eddie Edwards, but Tommy Dreamer then pretty much put a table in the ring as he was going to set it on fire, which the crowd was hoping it was going to be set on fire then at one point. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I can say that he pretty much lit the table on fire. He was gonna set on fire, but Eddie Edwards came back with a low blow, and pretty much hit him with a DDT, and then put his head on the chair and did a Boston Knee Party or Shining Wizard to pretty much get the win on him. It kind of got a little bit weird a little after Eddie Edwards started crying in the ring. It looked like he was gonna hit Tommy Dreamer again with another kendo stick, but his wife came out, Alicia, and stopped us and told her to shake his hand. They kind of hugged, but Dreamer pretty much held his hand, and I don't know, he was good. Like he was going to hit him with the kendo stick, and then he gave him the kendo stick then, and I don't know, some people think it was passing the torch. It kind of got a little bit weird. I don't know if this is the end of this feud. The crowd was into it, but I think they were more confused at the end, and they were a little bit more pissed because they did not see a flaming table throughout all of this. It was a brawl, of course, which it needed to be, but the ending just was a little bit, I don't know, it was something weird. Like, I guess they're at peace now, or I don't know, it was something strange about this. I'm sure we'll probably find out in the next taping of the show when that airs on TV, but like I said, the crowd was into it. They were more into it tonight, I will say that. They were really good as the Windsor tapings, I could say, too. They're better in Orlando. I'm glad, like I said before, I'm glad the Impact's not going back to Orlando anytime soon, because it's damn near a fucking, I don't know, everyone's dead in the Impact Zone, okay? They're just dead out there. They don't know what to do. They're just silent, a bunch of tourists. But like I said, this was a good match, but it was just really weird at the end if they're making peace in that. Matt Sydal won against Brian Cage for the X Division Championship. Sydal cut a promo in the back talking about he doesn't need the muscle because he has his third eye. He doesn't have to be the most powerful, which is a really good match, I will say, especially with Sydal keeping up with Brian Cage. It was mostly power versus speed here, and as Edwards was using his agility to dodge the big man multiple times, it was working out there, and it was actually a really good match. I will say it looked kind of scary at the end because I didn't understand the finish at first, because Sydal went for a shooting star press, but his foot hit the ropes, which pretty much cut him off from there, with Brian Cage hitting him with the drill claw, and then pretty much winning the new X Division title. I know people are going to say that, well, it's always been no limits with the X Division, or this guy doesn't look like an X Division guy, he's too big, or, most likely you could probably use the whole option C thing they've always done with Impact when you have the X Division title and then cash it in for a world title shot. So that could be the answer if that happens. So we will see where this goes with Brian Cage being the new X Division champion. This is probably the first title change of the night, I will say that. But this was a really good match, I will say that. And he was hanging out there with Cage. So like I said, it was mostly power versus speed here. Not much, almost like a big man, little man thing, but it really worked well here. Next was Su Yung versus Madison Rayne for the Knockouts title. This match wasn't bad, but I kind of figured who was going to win here. Well, first thing I will say this, I'm surprised the referee doesn't disqualify Su Yung, because throughout most of this entire match, the bridesmaids kept, the zombies there kept getting on the apron at one point. Madison Rayne has to knock him down. There was at one point where one of them even held Madison Rayne, and Su Yung pretty much missed in front of them. So why wasn't this even disqualified at one point? Because they kept getting involved, all of them. The match wasn't really bad, and Rayne was going to hit the what's called the raindrop, I believe. But Su Yung pretty much used that whole mandible claw with the bloody glove thing, and pretty much she won by Su Yung won because Madison Rayne passed out then. And then they pretty much put her in the casket as Su Yung stepped on top of it. Which I will say, I know they didn't really mention this. I'm sure they didn't have to. But it's funny, Josh Matthews is right there. And his wife is being thrown into a casket. And he's not really going to do anything about it. He says, somebody come and stop this. And he does nothing. So it's kind of funny because his wife is, like I said, she's being thrown in the casket. But he does nothing. He just stands there and just keeps commentating the show. But we're not really going to mention that. But Su Yung retained the title. I'm really not mad at that. That's probably where you started pushing Madison Rayne again for the title in general for this match. But like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of forgettable at the same time too. But Su Yung retaining was kind of really the right move, if you ask me. But I guess Madison Rayne put her over there. But I don't know what's going to happen next or who Su Young's next opponent would be. I don't know when the hell Rosemary's ever coming back because they keep acknowledging she's dead and buried and burned alive, as they say. Next, LAX versus the OGs, or LAX versus 1 versus LAX 2, or the New Blood versus, like I said, the OGs, old school versus new school. However you want to call it, 51-50 street fight. OGs pretty much came out through the clubhouse, the LAX entrance, since they kind of said that they taken over. Santana Ortiz pretty much came somewhere from the crowd with black and white face paint, which their music felt like it never hit, and just kept hitting sirens throughout the entire time, in which these two, pretty much, all four of them pretty much kept going crazy at each other right here, pretty much brawling in the ring. Homicide doing a giant-ass jump off the, pretty much over the ropes then. Like I said, not Homicide, but Hernandez still has it because pretty much, well, a big dude, the guy can still go. The guy can just do that crazy-ass jump he's always done in the past. Like I said, it was a crazy brawl out here. A lot of guys hitting each other with cookie sheets at one point. Like, multiple times they just kept hitting each other with it. Even bringing the tables into play. Hernandez hitting, what did he do? No, it wasn't a border toss, but, I'm trying to remember what it was. He did hit a border toss later on, but he pretty much did this big-ass shoulder block on Santana, knocking him out of the ring. And there was a table set up outside. Homicide pretty much did a running somersault, suicide dive, and pretty much putting Santana through the table. I said that was real quick. The cameras kind of didn't even keep up with it to see a replay, but it did look like a brutal shot. Homicide went through a table at one point, pretty much being knocked into it. Hernandez pretty much hitting a border toss on Ortiz through the table on the other side of the corner, since two tables on top, from the corners of each other. So, people pretty much went through the tables from there. I'm trying to see what else happened in this match. I guess I should say from here what sorry, I had some in my ear right there. But like I said, with pretty much at the table spot, I'm trying to remember this match. There was a lot going on in this whole brawl that you couldn't even barely keep up with it at one point. But Santana pretty much hit Hernandez with a super kick and then a giant running cannonball to take him out of the corner. And then it got at one point in the match where the crowd, like I said, the crowd was hot for this match. They were with LAX. There was a lot of holy shit chants. Like I said, people chanting Impact Wrestling instead of TNA, that they really have been trying to get rid of that TNA name. I guess they really are, and people were chanting Impact Wrestling. Santana and Homicide pretty much got back-to-back and started punching each other at one point, as both of them started super kicking each other and knocking, with elbows at one point. Homicide was about to hit the Gringo Killer, but Conan pretty much distracted him, and then Santana was starting to kick him several times. Homicide pretty much gave Santana the middle finger, as he looked like Homicide was about to take Santana was about to take Homicide out, but Homicide dodged again. He started arguing with Conan, and he spit at Conan. Conan pretty much threw a bag of tacks into Santana's hand, and as soon as Homicide turned around, he pretty much slammed him onto the thumbtacks, and Santana did a frog splash for the win. He had a lot of blood on him, so I guess he really did get cut that badly by the tax from landing on it. A whole bunch of thumbtacks, a lot of blood on his face. But as LAX pretty much retained and, you know, tried to recoup themselves getting up, King got in, started taking like a sock or some type of bag, or it could be a rock in there, whatever, and start whipping them with it, beating the hell out of all the LAX then. Hernandez and Homicide got back up, started beating the hell out of LAX, and as they held Conan up, King hit him in the back in his back with the weapon, and then took some spray can and painted OGs on the tag team titles. So it was a crazy brawl out there, which it needed to be. Really one of the best matches of the night so far at this point. I actually almost thought the OGs were going to pick up the win, but LAX still retained the titles here tonight. I can tell this feud is not over, and I don't think this was a one-time thing with Homicide and Hernandez, so I'm sure we're going to see this whole LAX Civil War feud go on, since King and them pretty much got the upper hand on LAX tonight. LAX may have won the battle tonight, but the war is not over between them and the OGs. Like I said, they sprayed it, OGs on the tag team titles, so we're going to see what happens from this, but this was a crazy brawl out here, very bloody, very violent, and the crowd was very hot for it, so I did like that. Next, probably one of the best 5 matches of the night too. Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan in a hair versus mask match. This was batshit crazy, okay? This match was definitely batshit crazy right here. Both of these guys, and this is probably the best hardcore match of the night. You thought the 51-50 street fight was great, and you think the crowd would go down. Well, get ready for the crowd to go even super hype for this match. You know, of course, they did the whole thumbs up, thumbs down, the Sierra Metyo thing. They start kicking each other in the face at one point. Super kick after a pump kick, you know, against each other. They started trying to hit each other with, I think, glass at one point, it looked like, and even Pentagon trying to do the slap, those like taking off his glove and slapping Sami Callihan in the chest, but he tried to take off his like chest protector, and you know, thought he could take it, but he pretty much fell to the ground. Then this really got bloody from here. Of course, these guys, remember, you saw chairs involved. These spikes got involved at one point where holy shit, Sami Callihan took the spikes and started tearing the mask off and starting to, you know, stick it into Pentagon's head, which there was a lot of blood as he was tearing the mask off. Fans chanted asshole at Sami Callihan then, but Pentagon his medio thing, but as he kept trying to stab him with it, Callihan pretty much got the baseball bat and was gonna hit him with it, but Pentagon dodged it and kicked Sami Callihan, got the bat out of him, and he taking the spikes and pretty much sticking it in the Callahan's head. Blood started pouring everywhere, lots and lots of blood. Okay, the guy had a crimson mask at one point, and before they could even try to even, you know, even Pentagon taking the spike again, even the baseball bat, like he would take one spike and hit him across the head like this. They looked brutal to watch. But when you're taking the bat and then knocking him with it, that looked crazy. People chanting holy shit. And one, I would say, highlight of the match here was when they kind of got both the spikes in, and they just start beating each other, stabbing each other in the head. Stab, stab, stab. Fans are going, this is Impact, this is Impact at one point, which looked crazy as, you know, they start stabbing each other. They start hitting each other with chairs then, and even knocked each other with both the chairs. Just, like I said, this was a damn war out here, okay? There was a fight forever chant. Callihan came back and started hitting Pentagon with some super kicks then, but Pentagon kind of, he hit the, was the lung blower or the backbreaker then, and he was going to break Callahan's arm at one point, but before he could even do that, the Chris brothers came out. Pentagon just he took the chair and it looked like he just beat both of them in the face with it, okay? It's like it was like a chair shot to the freaking skulls of both of OVE when they tried to come out and make the save, but I think they were probably hitting the shoulder or something as Pentagon took them out. But as Pentagon was distracted, Callihan had some type of power, threw it into Pentagon's face, and then once the next thing you know, he tries to break he thought he was breaking Callahan's arm. He really took the referee and broke his arm there as fans chanting, you fucked up then, and which was fucking crazy. Pentagon looked like he pretty much realized that he took out the referee, and Callahan pretty much started trying to get Pentagon's eyes in and taking him out from there. He was gonna hit a pile driver on the chair. A second referee came out, but Pentagon kicked out then, and then Callahan set up a whole bunch of chairs in the ring. I guess he was going to do some move on that, and he was going to put Pentagon through it, but Pentagon got him in the eyes, hit the package pile driver on top of the chair then, but I guess with some last ounce of life in him, Callahan kicked out, and people just went insane right here, and he told pretty much told Pentagon to bring it. Pentagon started super kicking him. Callahan flipped him off. Pentagon just kept kicking him again. Then he broke his arm, finally doing that whole break his arm thing as people trying to break his arm. And then hit another package pile drive for the win. And as Callahan, I guess, since he lost, he was going to have his head shaved. If he dropped to his knees, he was going to let it happen. But the rest of OVE came in for the save. But Pentagon was able to break out of that and knock both those guys down in. Callahan tried to get away, but Phoenix and security stopped him. Security held down OVE as Phoenix and Pentagon super kicked him in as they held Callahan, on his knees, shaving his head. There was even a shave your beard chant at one point. Listen, this match was insane. This was, in my opinion, one of the best matches of the freaking night right here. This was an insane brawl. If you have to rate all the hardcore matches tonight, this will be at the top of the list. Then the 51-50 street fight. Then Dreamer versus Edwards. Alright? That's how I would rank it from there. But this was insane. I would have been good if this was just a regular Action and Hair versus Mass match. I want to see more out of these two because this was a freaking war out here, okay? You can make this into a blood feud, alright? And like I said, this shit was insane. I couldn't tell who was going to win right here. These guys just kept kicking out after finisher, after finisher, after finisher. I didn't know who was going to pick up the win, but Pentagon picking up the win right here was logical. I don't ever really think he was ever going to take off his mask to begin with at this show, but these two beat the hell out of each other, and this was a war tonight here, folks. A big-ass war, which I recommend going back to look at. They also announced Bound for Glory tonight, where it was going to be in New York City at the Melrose Ballroom. I don't really know what's a lot about that, wherever they're doing. I know they've done it at the Hammerstein Ballroom before Impact has been in, but like I said, this is Bound for Glory. Like I said, they're going to run smaller venues here where the crowd, I guess, is more hot for these shows and people are very loud for it than trying to, book a bigger arena like they've done in the past. They could always do that, but it depends on the city and the right crowd you have to find to do things like that. So sticking to small venues right now is pretty much a good idea, so the crowd is hot for it like they are tonight. Well, it's just a small venue, yes, but the crowd has been great. I love what the crowd has done tonight. Energy, like they're not quiet, they're not sitting on their hands, they're into the product and they're loving what they see. And I'll get to more about Bound for Glory in the end and speak my thoughts on that. But as we got to the main event tonight, they pretty much brought out MLB player Curtis Ganderson for the Toronto Blue Jays. He was holding up the title as it was Austin Aries versus Moose for the World Championship. This was a really good match, and the crowd was still in the main event. You'd think the crowd would fall off after the entire Hair versus Mass match, but Aries and Moose did really good right here, and holy shit, they were killing it out there. All right. Moose, throwing Austin Aries over in the guardrail to the crowd. I still like that move Aries did, and I know they had this ramp. I never liked that. I don't like the ramp for some reason they had tonight out there headed to the ring, because it reminded me when Hogan was there. If you remember that time in TNA and the ring. You had the four-sided ring and the apron, not the apron, but the entrance and the walkway was like elevated up. I never liked that for some reason. Right, I have it elevated down and elevated all the way up. But Aries pretty much ran across that and went into Moose almost like a drop kick. Just jumping and doing all the way to the crowd, even hitting a brain buster at one point. That was like a really good move there. Like I said, there was a lot of great spots in this match. Moose pretty much hitting Austin Aries back and forth into the guardrail. Aries, once again, I said, trying to set up for a brain buster, missing it, and Moose pretty much hitting to go to hell at one point. There was almost a count out, like I said, from Aries doing that damn you know, running drop kick or forearm from the stage into the turnbuckle, but it was probably going to be a count at one point, but Moose got back into the ring, and Aries was going to take the title from Curtis Ganderson, but he wasn't going to give it up. Moose tried to roll up Austin Aries at one point, which I thought looked kind of bad because I didn't think Moose was even going to hit the roll up, because for some reason, for a split second, it looked like he struggled to get it, but Austin Aries pretty much dodged it. He kicked the Moose into the head and hit him with another brain buster to pick up the win clean. So a really good main event. I didn't really think Austin Aries was going to lose this match, and I don't hate Moose or anything, but it was really kind of hard to believe in Moose winning the title tonight. Don't get me wrong, they built the matchup very well in the past few weeks, giving Moose a chance right here, but it's just kind of like I said in the past 4 on 1 Impact reviews. Moose, it's been booked to be like an idiot half the time, and he's lost so many matches and into some ridiculous feuds where he gets his ass kicked most of the time. It was kind of hard to believe in him winning the world title tonight, but I think he was really good out there. Him and Aries put on a damn good match. And I will say one thing about Austin Aries. It's crazy how WWE could not get it right with him. That you threw him into 205 Live, and you don't see how great of a heel this guy can be. So Austin Aries, I'm not mad at Austin Aries for retaining the title. I don't think it's Moose's time yet to win the win the championship. So Austin Aries is pretty much a great heel right now. But Moose did show tonight he can he can really catch up. I know some people are gonna say Austin Aries carried Moose in this match, but I don't think he really did. I thought he really did. He had a good showing out there, and they put on a damn good match for the main event. And it wasn't no type of ridiculous ref bumps or run-in finishes that this company has done in the past, because they've done this a lot, like overbooked finishes too many times. But I think they just wanted to keep it straightforward booking tonight, and just have the wrestlers do the match themselves instead of having a whole bunch of bullshit going on with creative sending a whole bunch of things out there and overbooking. But overall for this show, I think this was a really great show. They have proved themselves tonight. Like I said, it was a lot of great matches, straightforward booking. We saw one title change tonight. We had a really good main event. I thought it was 2 great hardcore matches tonight between the hair versus mask match and the 5150. Probably one of my favorites of the night was those 2 matches. Probably the best matches on the card tonight. But I think the best match of the night was Pentagon and Callahan. That was my favorite match tonight, if you ask me. But they really did good out there. You got a fatal 4-way, and I think I like how they positioned each match in order to how they did it. And like I said, it was a really good show. I hope they do good for Bound for Glory this year, because Bound for Glory was a damn mess last year, okay? It really was, with so many people leaving that company last year, and releases, and bullshit headed into that pay-per-view of visas and all that stuff. I hope it's easier when they get to October and, do Bound for Glory. But as for Slammiversary itself, it was a damn good show. It was a really step in the right direction. I'm glad Impact's doing a lot better than they are. Ever since they brought Don Callis in, he's done a phenomenal job of changing his company around, making them better. Redemption was a really good pay-per-view a few months ago back in April, and Slammiversary was a damn great pay-per-view tonight. So they really have improved themselves in the past few months. What they've done. So what they've done. So honestly, I had a really it was a really good show. I really did enjoy it. I didn't really do any live reactions to this show. I just kind of want to keep it just doing a review tonight. I could have done live reactions if I wanted to, but I'm like, nah, I think I'm just gonna stick here with review tonight and go on from that. But like I said, this was a very solid pay-per-view, a great pay-per-view. I really do recommend going back to check on this. It's been a lot of positive vibes to Impact lately. It's not a lot of people burying the company as they've done in the past, and they put on a very, very great wrestling show. I do love the Toronto crowd tonight in the Rebel Center. They were mostly hyped throughout every match. They loved what was going on. They invest, like I said earlier in the video, they invest in the product. And like I said, it was just a hot show night. It had me jumping out of my seat at one point throughout the entire show. But like I said, my favorite match tonight was Callahan and Pentagon. We had a really good main event. Like I said, 2 really good hardcore matches. I already told my favorite, the 5150 street fight, was really good too. If I had to pick my weakest match of the night, it probably may have been either between the Knockouts title, maybe, or I'm trying to think what else was not that good of a match. Maybe Edwards versus Dreamer at some capacity. It was still a good brawl, but the ending was kind of weird at one point. Tessa pretty much needed a big win tonight. The Fatal 4-Way was really good. I know Rich Swann was there because of concussion. That's unfortunate. But they still had a really crazy match out there with Johnny Impact, Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, and Phoenix. Now, with Bone Soldier, yeah, people keep seeing we're going to see Bullet Club or something like that in Impact. I don't know. Hell, what else Bone Soldier stand in this whole Bullet Club Civil War thing anyway, now that I think about it? Is he with the OG Bullet Club, or is he with the Bullet Club Elite as they go in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now? So where does Bone Soldier stand with, throughout all this? But, just to say about Slammiversary itself, overall, like I said a few minutes ago, really great pay-per-view. I recommend going back to look at this show. It was a very enjoyable, straightforward booking. And like I said, they're a step in the right direction. I think they kicked a lot of ass tonight and proved a lot of people wrong and a lot of haters on internet wrong tonight. So, hopefully we see more great things from Impact, Impact Wrestling. I guess some say they really want to get that stench of TNA off them that, people now chant Impact Wrestling. So, hopefully they stay away from the Impact Zone in Orlando as far as possible and keep doing shows like this, especially in cities that actually know what wrestling and like wrestling, what's going on. And Canada has been really good. So, like I said, that's my review tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Slammiversary 2018 tonight. Tell me what your favorite match is, your least favorite matches. Comment and subscribe. I know I'm repeating myself here. But, yeah, just tell me what you really thought about the show tonight. This will be posted up online tonight. Link everything, whatever you want to know with this show tonight. So once again, it's me, DHWLD, coming with the news and reviews. You know I am, you know what I do, you know I go with the show, with it flow. I'm done, you see, and now we are done with this review of Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.